Hello everyone, this is Brendan from Tabletop Zen, and today I'm happy to give you a demonstration and a tutorial on using the game editor interface that I've been working on for a while now. I call it the workshop, and you can access it by clicking on this tab right beside the lobby tab. So not too many changes to the game lobby, as you're familiar with. The list of active tables, I've added some pagination controls here to make it so that the entire screen isn't taken up by these games if there's too many of them. Games you create appear in this My Games section. So these are games that only you have access to unless you make them public. And then the public games are in this game library section. So this layout will be changing, continue to develop it and make a better game library and things. And of course, take down the games that I don't have permission to post once the site becomes public. But for now, that's the way things are laid out. So we'll get right into the workshop. Clicking on this shows a list of all the games that you can create and have access to. So if you want to edit these games, just this button here. Eventually create a table right from here or delete the game. So be careful about that one. To make a new game, though, you just click this green button, type in the game name. I'm going to use Philip Dewberry's Spirits of the Rice Paddy to go through this demonstration. Click Create Game, and you can see it's added to the list here. It automatically puts just a little placeholder image for it right there. Click on Edit will take you to the first of the screens that you need to go to edit the game. So this is laid out in 3 different tabs to enter in the various, to edit the game in various ways. So this first one is the game info and management, sort of the meta information for the game, a tab to edit the game components, and finally a tab to create different layouts of those components. So on this tab, you can just enter in all the game meta information. So the stuff that would normally appear, say, on the BGG entry for the game. So the author and the designer, the year it's going to be published, all those kinds of things. And you can also put up new art for the game box if you have it. So I have this already prepared for Spirits, and I'll upload it there. And you can see there's, whenever the game appears in the lobby, there'll be this nice image there for it. On the right-hand side of the screen are game configuration options. So these are various mechanics that might be included in the game that are more than just information about it. So things like, is there a hand or a hidden information area? And eventually this will include more things, but right now just the hand and hidden information is the only thing that's there. So I will update the game with that to include player hands. Okay, we'll move to the components. So one of the things that you have to make sure of at this point in time is that all of the artwork for your game pieces has to be cut out into individual pieces and sized for the screen. So these images will be much smaller than those images that are going to be sent to print. So when I've been creating prototypes for people so far, one of the first things I do is I open it up in Photoshop and I'll size everything appropriately. So I'll just show a couple sample images here. So yeah, I'll come in and edit these pieces to make sure that the art all works before I load it up there. Eventually I'll have tools for the site to automatically handle that, but at this point you'll want to have art prepared and sized appropriately, or else you'll have massive images once you upload them. Okay, so walking through this interface, this first part is for boards, tokens, and pieces. So individual pieces that you might want to add, like meeples, like player mats, like counters, and those kinds of things. This bottom section here is to add decks, or ordered stacks of items you might want to include in your game. Decks of cards, or anything you might want to draw randomly can be handled through a deck object. Dice will be added on the layout step, so I'll show you that in a moment. So when you're creating boards, tokens, and pieces, you can create a single piece by clicking on Create Piece. Let's make the Grow token as an example here. So type in the piece name and then various options about this piece. So this is a piece that we might be putting other pieces on. So we'll click on Base Piece. It's a double-sided piece. We can flip it over and there's an image on the other side, and we might want to include it in the supply. So let's put, for example, 20 of these in the supply for right now. We can select the front image and clicking on that button, tokens, there's the grow token right there. And we can select a back image for that. There's the back side of the grow token. Okay, so that piece is ready to go. So we'll save that, and there it is on our list of pieces. So it can be quite time consuming if we want to go and add these all individually. Adding multiple pieces will allow you to select a bunch of art pieces, and it'll just batch create a whole lot of them for you. So you can click on these. All of the pieces you create in this manner will inherit these properties. We'll just leave those blank for now. And let's select all of them. We don't need the grow or the plant tokens though, because we've already created that. And there we go. There's all of the tokens and pieces added in one go. So give it a refresh there. Sometimes the art doesn't get picked up. Okay. So we can come in and now individually edit things we might need to. So these wall tokens are rotatable, for example. Okay, and we might want to add some pieces to the supply now. So these are, we'll put 20 of these green cubes in the supply, and 20 of these yellow cubes in supply. Great. So that's all I'll do now. I'll move on to decks. So to create a new deck, you click on the green button. Similarly here, let's add Spirit 1 deck. There's 2 Spirit decks in this game. Let's show the name of the deck below the image. The card type will be Spirit cards. Okay, and here we can select the images to represent the deck. So first, the card back images. All the cards in this deck will have a common back, and you can select it here. We'll go to images, cards, and the Spirit card. So here they all laid out. There's the back of the Spirit cards. And the deck back. So what this allows you to do is have a separate image to represent the stack of cards in the deck. And all the cards will have this background. So it's just a little graphical enhancement there. If you don't specify a deck image, then the deck image will just inherit this back image. It'll just have that image there. We'll save those. Now we can go and we've created the deck. We can add and manage the cards. So you can either add single cards to the deck one at a time, or if you want to, you can select a series of images and add them all at once. So we can select from Spirit 1 to 20 and add those all at the same time. And so all of those cards are added with quantity 1. If you want to go in afterwards and change the quantities, you can do that. Say there's 2 of these, you can change it, and the total number of cards will be updated. Now there's 21 cards because we've added an extra Spirit 1, and that makes it just handy to quickly add many cards. Finally, going to layouts, what layouts allow you to do is create different organizations of your pieces on the table in case you want to have, say, a layout for 2 players, 3 players, 4 players. Say you want to create a layout that has an expansion included with it, or not, or different versions of the expansion. If you're playtesting and you want different groups to try out different rule sets or different art, you can create different layouts and handle it all that way. Enter a description of the layout if you like, and then here you can specify table size. This will just give you a wooden background table, approximately equivalent to these player sizes, and you can also upload a custom background images. So I do this with a lot of prototypes I make. If I want to just have the player boards or tableaus be part of the background, you can upload a custom image here. And then finally, if you want the game to be published to the public game library. So this feature isn't quite ready yet. I just have the option there right now. So we'll save that, and then you can open this to start creating your game layout. Okay, once you open the layout, you can see that the interface is very similar to the interface for playing games, with a couple of additions. On the right-hand side, there's the component menu. So any pieces and tokens you added in the workshop will be in this section. any decks or stacks that you've created are in this section, and the dice will all appear here. So all the dice that I have created so far are all in this list. I don't have the dice editor finished yet, so if you have custom dice in the meantime, just send me the images and I'll add it to this list. So then adding the components to the board at this point, you just need to drag from this menu and place them on the board. So just to show you, I'll add some dice out there. Go to the pieces and tokens. Here's the player board. We can add it. You can use the browser zoom still to zoom in and out to get a view of the the entire playing surface. So maybe use the 2-player layout. So we might want 2 player mats, and then you can add any other pieces to the board that that you'll want when someone creates a new table or a new instance of this game. We can also go back into the workshop and add pieces to the game box if we want to appear in this collection when the game is first created. So this piece and tokens menu here won't appear when players go to play the game. So keep that in mind. Anything you want to add, you need to do it in this interface, or put it in the game box, and then they can add and subtract pieces that way. So when you're done, we'll add a few more pieces onto the board here, just as an example. The meeples are already sized and added in a certain way. Okay, and I'll add the deck out here so you can see how it works. If you make a mistake and you decide you don't want a piece, you can click and hold on this to see the menu, and this red minus button will subtract that piece and delete it. So if you decide you don't want something in your layout, you can remove it that way. Okay, when you're done, you can click on the game menu up in the top left-hand corner, and there's an option here. This blue disk will save the layout, so it will be saved in this current state, and anyone who creates a new game with this layout will see it exactly like this. You can also delete this layout. If you don't like what you've done, you can just delete this, and all your updates that you've done won't be saved, and this will just close the menu. So let's save this layout. Okay, so we've saved it. It'll say when we last modified it, and now it's ready to be tested. So if we go back to the lobby, and this is the game we've just created. Come in here, we can see we have our 2-player layout ready to go. And if we create a table, there's those pieces we just had. So you notice the component menu is missing from the side. By this point, this game's ready to go. We can shuffle the deck up and draw cards into our hand and roll dice, and it's ready to go. So that's just a quick overview of the game editor interface. There'll be much more coming in the near future, so let me know if you have questions, and good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's creations and prototypes.